Hey, Nicole Havlicek here from Primetime Pickleball. Today we're going to talk about the key skills that you need in order to break through past that 4.0 barrier. So wherever you stand in the 3.x range, whether that be 3.1 to 3.9, these are the skills that are going to be needed to catapult you to that next level and get you out of that perpetual hard-hitting, banging game that is so prevalent at that level, where people are all standing off the kitchen and just banging it back and forth hard to see who can really, outpower the other player. At some point, that's not going to work, and these are the skills that you're going to need to get you to that next level and be competitive there, which is that 4.0 levels. So let's dive in with our first scenario, and it's going to be aggressive dinking. Here you'll see that they just had a kind of gentle dink exchange, not too much push. Then he went and just really unexpectedly pushed it cross court, and that was able to generate the point for him. He wasn't going for a winner, he was just looking to move this player, and it ended up being a winner. That's aggressive dinking, moving people around the box is what you're gonna wanna do. All right, next up we have another dinking example. On this one, they move each other around the box more aggressively. Here he got pushed out wide. He scrambled to get it, got pushed deep a little to the side again. He took it wide. He moved him this way. Then he attacked. There's a counter attack and another re-attack and the finish. Let's see that again. He got pushed on this deep dink over here. And he got pushed out wide. I don't like how he got stuck on the fence there. But yeah, they're just jockeying and moving each other around, pressing with location in particular. There comes the attack, the counter, and the re-attack. He did like a stretch jab attack to finish that point, and then this guy hit it long. So that's something you're going to need to develop, is an aggressive dinking game and being able to withstand dinks as well. Okay, moving right along to the next skill that we're going to see show up here. It's that block we just saw right there. So he pops it up, this player, we're going to focus on this player. He accidentally pops it too high, he gets attacked, and he resets it in the kitchen. That is a key skill that too many 3.0s do not possess. That's something you're going to need. All right, next up is this one. Here Katie lines up for the drive, and he blocks it short, reset. Similar to the other one, except this player was not at the non-volley zone line. She's further back, but he still hits that blocking reset into the kitchen. That's a key skill. She drops it, another key skill. But what I want you to focus on is this one right here. She hits a hard drive, and he can block it low, force her into the low contact. That's a key skill you need to develop. So very similar to what we just previously saw, that's going to be a key skill to be able to block from the non-volley zone line. Let's take a look at this one. Keeps them deep. Here's another drive, block it low. So there's that key skill again. She gets driven at and she can just block it low, forcing him into a low contact. All right, this is very similar to what we previously saw. Next up, there it is again. So this comes up time and time again, right? So that hard drive, when those players are two back, block low, forcing a low contact. Okay, and then those far two players can come up because he hit a good dropping reset right there. Similar story. Notice the theme. We just saw several examples of a very similar thing that happens very frequently. Here's the next one here. Deep return, serve, deep return, block. There it is again. He gets driven at, this player in the blue shirt, and he keeps it low. Low contact. Player chooses to drive it again. He misses. So we just saw 4 good examples of that block from the non-volley zone line. Next example, deep serve, kind of a short return. Okay, here I want to point out the drops. That was a beautiful drop. Here he gets pressed. Really good drop. Look how he's falling away, falling back, but he keeps his balance and he stays steady, and it's just an exceptional drop. You need to be able to hit these tough drops. You're not always going to get a step in drop. He hits it so well that she decides to poach, and they miss that. So you need a good drop. So far we've seen strong aggressive dinking, as well as being able to handle strong dinks. We've seen blocking from the non-volley zone line, and we've seen good drops. Here's another example of great dropping on the move, well out of the court, gets it down. Not enough, he gets attacked, but it's not the strongest of attacks because he was able to get him into it's not super high contact. It's not exactly low, but it's not very high. That player's able to get it deep on him again. Look at this, he's falling back. He's really good at dropping that. Look at that low contact. That player cannot do much with that shot. He goes behind her and he misses. She's looking to be very aggressive. All right, so really key is strong dropping. You're not always going to get really nicely set up drops. He hits one on the move to the right. He hits one on the move back. Does a really good job of it. So good, in fact, that this guy misses the attack. Okay, here we're going to see another example of a great drop. Good serve, good return, backing up. Here she hits a really solid drop. It doesn't get super down. Notice how her partner comes in. He sees it's going to be a little high, so he backs up in preparation to have to hit this reset right here. He ends up missing it. It's going to happen. But let's go back to this drop. Pretty solid. Would have been nice to get it lower, but definitely they do live to fight on that next shot. Even though he misses it, it's makeable for him typically. All right, next up is this one here. Okay, he hit that too high. He meant to get that lower. That's going to happen. Watch what she does. So look at this high contact. This is the highest contact attack we've seen so far. He's going to crush it down at her. She's off frame, but you can see how she blocks it and gets it down. He's forced into a low contact. So this is that transition zone reset. She was trying to come in. She sees it gets popped up. She puts the brakes on, split steps, does a great job of getting it down. They're back in the point. He has a second attempt at that drop. He hits a much better one, and they follow it in. All right, so there was a reset drop combo. Next up, okay, he drives, he hits it a bit high into this guy's wheelhouse. He has a high backhand, does put a little force on it, so he attacks it. She is on her way in here. So some of the ones we've seen, they've had to back up from the non-volley zone line, reset. Here she's on her way in. She has to put the brakes on. She tries to reset it a little bit high, but she does get it back over, and they're in pretty good position to defend. He does a great job of getting that drop down. Now those two far players can come back in. He does a good job resetting right here. Nice. Forcing the dink exchange. All right, so notice the common theme. Get it down, soft, get it low, force them into low contacts. These are the skills you need to break through to that 4-over level. Okay, here's another example of resetting. Doesn't quite get it down, but she resets it, it makes it over. She gets attacked again. A little bit lower, but he can still attack. Still, those three were a little higher than she'd like, but you need to be able to get these back and ultimately get these down. Are there going to be times when you don't quite get them down and you lose the point? Sure, but she does make 3 okay ones there. The whole point is that in 3-0s in general can't even get that over, let alone 3 times in a row, and it's something you're going to need to develop some consistency on, is those resets. Okay, next point here, we just see a slew of really good resets and drops, serve, return. Again, he's really good at these tough drops. Gets that nice and down. Does another drop. That one's a little high. She gets attacked. That was a really tough attack. She does a great job to dig that out and get it low. Again, he comes up with a drop that's pretty good. He did hit one earlier that wasn't great, which is why she got attacked. But still, he's making those drops. That's 3 great ones, 1 not so great one, but they're still in it. He blocks that on his way in from the transition zone. Maybe he could have attacked that. That's kind of high, but he chooses to block. He does a good job getting it down. He gets attacked. He counters, jams up this guy. Boom, gets that pop-up and finishes. That's a pretty textbook 4.0 plus point where they're on the defense most of the time, and then he's able to turn things around and close out the point with an offensive play out of mostly defensive posturing the whole point. That's a skill that most 3-point whatevers, 3-point X can't do, and it's a point that you're going to need to be able to play with some regularity as you get up to that 4.0 level. All right, next up here, there's that block we saw a lot earlier, that drive from back. She gets that down low, attacked again. It's a little high, so she can put a little more mustard on that, gets him on the move. He gets it low, she pushes it deep again, so he just can continue to drive, and he finally decides to drop. He does get a good job getting her into low contact, but she's able to keep him back. There's that block again, forcing him into a low contact. We're just really doing a good job of keeping them back. Then she hits one short. He attacks her. She kind of pops it up a little bit. Notice how she'll step back because he has a pretty offensive opportunity there. She does a great job blocking that low, and he misses. So notice all the skills we've already talked about. These are some more extended points that we just see them show up, quite a few in the span of 1 point. There's that drive, there's that block that we talk about. So you basically have to be great at blocking, great at resetting, great at dropping. So notice how they're all the soft skills. Great at dinking when you all 4 of you get up to the net. There's an attack, and there's a block. It's a little high. Attack again. He scrambles. Look at that great drop. Look at that coverage. It's way away from him. He's on the stretch, backing up as he hits it. That's the skill you're going to need, being able to hit drops as you're backing up. Most of the time when we're doing these videos, we show like, okay, step in and, get good spacing and all that, really good control of your body. But a lot of the times, to be a good player at higher levels, you're going to be hitting these awkward shots on the stretch, and you have to have good body control and make them. We've seen several players hit great drops on the move, on the stretch, backing up. Okay, so let's see what happens here. He drops it. She tries to keep it deep. It's a little short, so it doesn't make it. He drives. He blocks that low. Drive again. She sends it back on his feet and gets him on the stretch. Great drop. Wow, look at that again. Backing up. Okay, it does happen. You're gonna have to hit quite a few drops on the way back. It's not something often talked about, but at the 4.0 level plus, it's happening. Another great drop on the stretch. Attack. He drives it high. Ooh, he missed that. That was an unforced error. So good defense by this team over here. All right, last couple. Notice the theme again. Drive, attack low. Okay, so he attacks. It's high. This player's able to attack down. She resets. It's high. She can't quite get it down. It's going to happen. But you have to be able to live to fight through these. Attack. He gets a great drop there. That gets lifted too high. He likes to drop that. I'd like to see him attack that. That's a high ball, but I guess he wasn't quite set well enough. And now they're in a dink exchange. Aggressive dink exchange. They're moving her. They're moving him. And he misses that. He tries to do I don't love that back up off the bounce attack, but he does try to do a roll top spin attack to finish, and it didn't quite work out. All right, here's the last one. Okay, out of an overhead midpoint. Great reset. That's a really tough reset off a good overhead. Hits that pretty hard. She gets it down at relatively low enough to where he can't be too punishing. Nice job getting that drop down. That's awesome. And now he has an easier drop that he can follow in. He does a good job with it. Here, this player attacks. It's a little too high. but it's hard. So he kind of gets handcuffed, but he's able to attack down again. Ooh, look at that stretch reset. These are the shots you're gonna have to come up with to play at the 4.0 level. They're definitely doable. It's just that you have to train them and can't elect to hit hard off everything if you want to be a 4.0 plus player. You have to sharpen your drops, your dinks, your resets, your blocks. Ooh, that was a nice finish. Let's see what he did here. Okay, I've mentioned this in past videos. I don't love when you attack when you're so out of position. Look at this massive gap now here in the middle. Because he wanted to hit with his forehand, which is fine, but I would suggest he probably dropped that. He hits it hard. This guy here is not overwhelmed by the pace, as lots of 4.0s often aren't. And then he just pokes it there through the middle. Okay, so I hope you're getting a clear picture of the skills you need to break through and get up to that 4.0 plus level. You do need to be able to hit all the softer shots, and you need to be able to hit them out of somewhat awkward positioning at times. So if that's something you're not able to do, definitely recommend getting to work on it. What you can do is when you're working on it is I just recommend getting a drilling partner. If you want to work on your dinking, just feed it in and go after it in a half-court dinking situation where anything goes and you can press each other and attack if the opportunity arises. And then same thing for the other skills. Basically just put yourself in the scenario. Like we could have this player back up and stand more in the mid-court, have this player feed a drive to his feet, so that he has to reset it, and then game on. So just start off the point or start off the drill with the shot you're trying to train. Have the other player feed that into you. You make that first shot. That first shot is the skill that you're working on, so you do see a lot of reps because you start the point that way each time. And you can switch roles in terms of the feeder and who's receiving it, but everyone gets involved on the action because you both are the feeder at times. And then you're just playing it out and working all the skills that come along with starting the point that way in both training the offensive side of it and the defensive side of it. Okay, so I hope that was very helpful to you going through these skills. It's something that you're going to have to peel away from gameplay to train, because in 3.x level play, you're probably not going to want to do it if you're not super strong with these skills, because your partner might not be happy. You might both get frustrated. So I'd recommend peeling off and drilling it either on a ball machine or with a partner, and just do it one-on-one. That way you're responsible for any shot you hit because you have to defend it. And you just get a lot more reps that way. And then as you get better, you can bring it into your gameplay and test it out and see where you stand. And eventually, before you know it, if you are putting thousands of reps into all of these skills, you are going to be at that 4.0 level, and you're going to play in those higher skilled games where it's not all banging, where it's the full gamut of pickleball skills are on display and you possess the full gamut of pickleball skills. Therefore, you belong in that game and you're able to be competitive in that game. That's what I want for you. Get out there, get to drilling. Drilling can be fun when you make a game out of it, so get to it. It's definitely a lot of fun when you're able to climb that ladder of skill and play higher and higher level games. If that's what you aspire to do, get out there, make it happen, and it can all happen for you in due time with some effort. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.